not too happy. That's my head like this. But I finished everything. No one. Great job. Thank you. What do you need?
Hey Megan, did you like my presentation? Yeah? It's just salty. Oh, what is that?
Because right now, because they went to something else. This
Please help me.
they're not enough food. You went to PhD?
What are you doing there?
In 2060? No, from 1270, 1260.
Okay.
The musicians were doing, and then the remember the hair first. So if you go to every room and just bring them, just bring them.
Brenda gave me my ticket, so she doesn't want that. Yeah. Yeah. What?
No, you did.
This really cool dance show. Yeah. They did a program. So tired and there's so much stuff to do.
Actually, I read on that.
Do you see why she was down there? I feel like
Very
it's
good.
silly.
Very
Maybe it's a sparkle.
Yes.
I think you should just breathe.
That's impossible to do at this
Well, I
point.
just got to do it. Like, this thing is great.
Did you write your work reflection yet?
Yeah, I just honestly don't think I have one.
I have to do a PowerPoint already. I have to do my whole gym philosophy.
You have everything. Did you have color philosophy? I got philosophy.
I'm sorry, someone else said.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
So much stuff to do.
That's what you would do.
You know what?
I'm like about to fall asleep right now. Yep.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Bigger than a lot of companies. I know all when I switched over from my place where I thought something happened. Switching over to iPhone. And it blew up all my albums and
Closing up. The throat was.
You can get everybody in first. I do these parts. You did. Ignore that part.
No, like I would not be able to.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Did you say which one? Presentation? Yes. Thank you, baby. You can bring everybody in first now, please. Everybody in here.
Why not?
We don't do.
Did you see the picture of the
I just want everybody in now. Okay. Please don't keep, if you can find people to bring in, then we can finish up. I've been looking for one lady by the name of I was ready for
I pulled out a
Yeah, it goes, I said it's from 8:30 to 3.
You didn't know I had spies in there, right?
No, I know.
And the spies said,
Yeah. I think he's telling me about Oh, that's right. Nobody came, so I didn't get any.
don't forget your posters, if you had posters outside, to take them. Okay? You may need them for your next class, whichever class you're going to take. And you can just change it here and there instead of buying another and try it all. And if some of you might see some posters there, those are some that were left that I used again because their work was so wonderful.
And I love
True.
Yeah, exactly. I would tell that gospel like Chinese. Like no more.
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm wearing my tailor plate.
Why did you do like I love how teachers okay. Oh, like that would be 10 colors. Sean.
Jackie,
I think it was okay. I sound like Thomas. And the last
I was like, this is
pretty up there, right?
she doesn't. Okay, I don't know if you know that we had spies in your room. You do. And those spies gave such wonderful evaluation. So I can't believe them. I don't know if they were just being kind to you or if it was really true. So I asked, and they said no, they were fantastic. So give yourself a big hand. I stood at some doors. I went in for 2 minutes. I listened to you. And to be honest, you were great. You're young. For some of you, the first time you are actually presenting in front of your parents or friends. And I can't tell you how proud I feel at this moment. And I'm not talking about my students alone. I'm talking about everyone here. I wish we could do it again tomorrow. This is for me, it is the 18th time that I have done it. And one of my faithful presenters, who has been here maybe 5 times, to be my keynote speaker, decided that she was sick and tired of me. And you know what she did? She retired. They retired last week, thinking that she would not be called again. Well, she can't retire until I tell her she has retired. And so I have brought back Dr. Sylvia Johnson. Let me tell you what they did horribly in Cuba. Every school that was an F school, that was terrible school, they would put her there, and she would bring that school up. And the minute she brought it up, they said, okay, you've done your job. Here's another one. And they kept moving her from school to school because she was so a wonderful principal. And then another bad thing, oh, by the way, another bad thing that she used to do, she used to steal our students. Because she was the principal at one of our professional development schools. So we would send like 15 students to do their internships there. They never left there. She hired them on the spot. After she worked with them, she hired them. So the other schools had no chance of getting our good students. But she has decided that she thinks she is retiring, but she's not. So Dr. Sylvia Johnson, please give her a It's okay.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Wow, really? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How many of you are going to be teachers? How many are going to be teachers in secondary? Okay. How many of you would like to teach 3rd through 5th and be departmentalized and teach one subject?
There you go.
And the point is, if I have you in the afternoon, you still have to have energy. So I'm just going to start all over again and just see what happens. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, we'll try to get it. Okay. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Salmon. I just love her. There's only one Dr. Salmon. I mean, who's like her? Nobody. And I just finished a 45-year career. Started teaching in 1971. I don't want to know that you weren't born yet. But if I had to do it all over again, and I say this all the time, I would do it again only better because I know more than I did when I started. I cannot think of anything else in this world that anybody could do and be as fulfilled as I feel. I know I made a difference. I know I was successful. Now, if you look up names of principals and their schools and look at the people who all got A's, #1 school grading is crazy anyway. I don't even know who thought that up. But you wouldn't see my name on that list because it's all about as a teacher, your motive. Why are you doing this? You know you're not going to get paid enough. So that can't be the reason. But I'm telling you, my career I have been so blessed in these 45 years. And when I walk away now, I walk away without regret. I walk away knowing that lives will change. I walk away knowing that if we don't get it right in education, nobody can be anything. We don't know how important we are. I tell first grade teachers, you are it. You're the best. How many people want to teach first grade? I need to pass you on a piece of paper so you can be on my prayer list. Okay. I told the teachers that were under my care, and that's how I felt about it. I wasn't their boss. We were co-workers because it was all about the children. If you're not doing this because of the children, please don't do it. Because it's too hard. Public school, whoever comes in the door, you got to figure out how to teach them. Yeah, but I don't care. And people, I wish there were some people here who were in schools where I was the principal so that you know that I'm not making this up, but she knows. Because the TESOL class was taught at our school. And she knows me, and it's all about a child. I'll give you an example. When people come to volunteer, they have to talk to me. I have to check them out and make sure they're good enough for our kids. That they're compassionate enough, that they're not going to judge people by how they look. We had quite a few children at our school from the shelter. I told the custodians, you are the beautification engineers of the school. It is very important that this is a beautiful place because many of them do not come from beauty. And it wasn't just kids in the shelter, it was kids whose parents were very affluent and who were gone most of the time. They were just as at risk as another child. This world has gotten to a place where we've got to get it right. Now, I'm retired from the formal, I would die if I don't work with kids. There's just no way that's going to happen. I'm going to rest now. I see you trying to bully me, Dr. Selma. Look at you right now. Because whatever she tells me to do, I'm going to do it anyway. But what I want to tell you is don't lose the joy of this work. And if you look at your little piece of paper, I'm going to encourage you that no matter where you go, always take something to write with and something to write on, because if you don't, you're going to forget it. Life is too busy. You got to write stuff down. Those of you who are real good, when I text, this takes a long time. Because I do paragraphs and punctuation and spell all the words out. I do that, you are none of that. I do the whole thing with I send text to my kids, they say, how many paragraphs did she write? How long is it? Because that's just who I am. Plus, I can't do the thumb and mine, it's just, just like that. And they say my font is so embarrassing because it's so big. Well, I just retired after 45 years. I just had a birthday Sunday, and I'm 67 years old. So I don't tell myself that I can do what you guys do. But when I watched some of the presentations, we were in a couple of rooms, I was watching the little game. Don't do that just for college credit, do that with kids. When you do a Kahoot with kids, oh my gosh. I used to tell them, and I was so proud of myself for doing Kahoot, I know how to do that. I used to tell them, tomorrow we're doing Kahoot, hope you look at the work. They studied harder than they would have if I had said tomorrow we're having a test. Why? Because their name showed up there as the winner. You've got to know that you've got to motivate and inspire. It's really about inspiration. That's way better than motivation. You can motivate a kid for the grade. When you inspire a kid, they never forget it. I just had a beautiful, and Ms. Danke back there, my buddy, can tell you, the retirement celebration was, I don't even know, I couldn't explain it to anybody if I even tried. Because the things that people say are things that I forgot because I never did it for them. So what you want to do is to start over every day. The greatest gift you can give a child is a new start every day. I used to wrap packages in really beautiful paper. And every single morning for the 22 years I was in the classroom, the gift box was on their desk, wrapped. They unwrapped it every day. They knew exactly what it was. And somebody in here is thinking, I would not wrap some gifts every night. Well, okay, but I did. And it was wonderful. They would open it, and inside was a piece of paper and say, my gift to you, a fresh start. So if you're coming back from being suspended, or you're coming back from being sick, and I tell you, you can start all over again. We're not talking about what happened yesterday because we can't change it anyway. They'll keep starting over. And what are we teaching them? We're teaching them to allow themselves to start over if they make mistakes. Now what Dr. Salmon wanted me to talk about was teaching locally and thinking globally. And the most beautiful thing to see in a classroom is diversity. It's just an awesome thing. I was born in 1949. And I was born at a time when we went to the movie theater, but we had to sit in the back row of the balcony. That's the only place we were allowed to sit because I'm from Tuskegee, Alabama. We went to Tasty Freeze, but you had to get your ice cream from the back window. You weren't allowed to get it from the front. When we went to the department store, we could buy stuff. We weren't allowed to try anything on. When you went to buy shoes, you could just kind of measure them on the bottom of your foot, but you couldn't put them on. And my parents, thank God for them, said to me, that's what it is. We're not wasting time on what we can't do anything about. We still have to get shoes. So I learned not to focus on things I couldn't change. But if I could change it, Dr. Selman will tell you, they know me very well in Washington, D.C. and Tallahassee. And when they get an email from me, which is quite often, and now they're nervous because they know I'm home, so I'm going to be like, but It's always very specific. I don't whine. Whining is a waste of time. Because it teaches children how not to act. You have to be up every single day. Ms. Danke will tell you, if you walk around the school with me, you don't have to walk fast. Because I have to make sure that every classroom sees me every day. And I'm still saying it like I'm still doing it because I'm having separation anxiety. And I'm respectful enough to the new principal, who is amazing. I'm not going to the school and show that's what I want to do. I wake up in the morning and then around 10:30 I say, oh, the VPK kids are going to lunch right now. Because that's how much it is in my heart. I want you to look at this little chart because teaching locally is very important. Somebody tell me why. And I know y'all are tired, so if you talk back to me, we can hurry up. So why is it important to teach locally? What's the significance of that statement? What is that? You can't get it wrong. Yes.
Understanding who you're teaching.
Understanding who, well, that's an even better answer than the one I had. Understanding who you're teaching, because I'll tell you what, anybody can teach the stuff. If you don't want to teach the stuff, you want to teach the children. When I was listening to Chris Johnson talking, because we were partners in some of his sessions that he's had, at West Jacksonville, which is the school where I was the principal for 11 wonderful years, my plan was to retire from there, but I wasn't the superintendent, so I didn't get to do that, and Dr. Gunn or happen. It is probably the greatest gift that was ever given to me, to have to keep going to different places and letting people know it can be done. Don't give up on children. Don't give in to the myth, this is just how they are. That's not true. The three things that separate children and their ability to learn and excel are language, experience, and exposure. That's all. Children can learn. They can get better and they can be proud of themselves and learn to think well of themselves. I have argued children down who were trying to give up. And then after a while I realized they were doing it on purpose, so I would argue it down, so I had to stop doing that. But they would be struggling and I would say, but you can do that. I can't do that, but you can. They get, yes, you can. Get, you want to try. Then I had to make sure that I had my stuff together so that I would be able to give them some strategies if they didn't know how to do it. So when you look at this, these are some things that I want you to think about as a teacher. You can't skip any of these things, and they're sort of in order, but you know if you're a real educator, you do stuff out of order. If you're paying attention and you realize it's something you just threw together because maybe you were out of town and your plane just came in and you weren't really ready, kind of, but not really, so you kind of did something and you were nervous about it, but you didn't spend a whole lot of time on it, and you did it in class and they thought it was fantastic, then you have to figure out how to keep it going. Or you spent all weekend doing the most wonderful plan you thought and they didn't care anything about what you did. That's what being a teacher is. It's the most wonderful thing in the world. Research. There's really no excuse these days because World Wide Web. Don't tell me you didn't, oh, I didn't know. Because you can Google anything. I didn't even know, and y'all can laugh if you want to because Dr. Salmon loves you, so I love you too. But I didn't even know I could Google myself for a long time. I mean, and then it's kind of scary because you're like, well, who was watching and what did they learn? So I didn't really read it because it looked kind of too scary for me. But research, there's no excuse for not looking at the research. If you have a child who's having a specific problem and you put that in there, you can find bodies of research from everywhere. And then what you do is you take that body of research and then you Google that, and then you get the specifics and get what you need. There's no excuse for not knowing what's out there. Why reinvent the wheel if somebody's already done it? So when we say teach locally, don't be looking at stuff that's on TV and something somebody said. Your kids have to be your kids. And when I went to West Jacksonville Elementary School, it was the lowest performing school in the state. So I was brand new principal, so I could change the world. That's how y'all would do. So we can do it. Of course we are. Are you serious? Yeah, we can. Did I know how hard it was gonna be? Absolutely not. But when you love children through situations and life and challenges, they know for it. A teacher is a very powerful being. When I was watching you and this, go quiet. Oh yeah, right there. You didn't have a jacket on. And when you all are up here doing your little thing, like do that with the kids. Don't be embarrassed. Children laugh at me all the time. But that's a gift. We have children who come to school and laugh at any place but at school. And whenever anybody came to interview with me, the interview began when they walked in the door. And sometimes I would say, oh, you forgot. Oh, you're not interviewing today, you can't make fun of me. Because surely you didn't come here like that, thinking you're going to get a job. Because I don't believe in thinking things and not sharing them with people so they can correct them. Maybe they didn't know. The interview starts when you walk in the room. And if you don't have any passion, if you just look serious, I'm scared you might look too serious with my kids. You have to love it. You have an opportunity to change somebody's life and make them have quality of life. That is the most exciting thing in the world. And sometimes they come with these big, giant portfolios like that, so it's cute. Talk to me. Because I need to see how you're going to talk to the children. Spend time with kids. From church, from the park. Spend time with them. And watch them so that when you start talking to them, you see when their eyes light up. My kids knew. Dr. Johnson puts her ugly shoes on at 10:30. Because I have shoes that match everything, just because that's what I like to do. And heels and all that, but 10:30, I put on my Chucks. Because this year the theme was going the extra distance for children, and I wore Chucks. And then the parents thanked me because they're cheaper than Jordans, and all the kids wearing Chucks. You got to remember, there's some child there who is believing everything you say, positive or negative. Teaching locally means you better find out what the standards are. You better understand what the item specifications are and how to write the lesson so you can teach it. But you don't want them to just be able to do Florida standards and just that. You want to prepare them for the world. And when I know that there are children who've never been anywhere, when I was at West Jacksonville, we found out we had 117 families who had never crossed a bridge in Jacksonville. Just think about that for a minute. West Jacksonville is off Beaver Street on the northwest side. They had never been across a bridge. They hadn't been anywhere. So what that meant was, I had to write a grant. I wrote a bridge grant and got it. And I took the children and their parents across every bridge in Jacksonville. The world opened up. I should have had a video camera just for the facial. And I had to start with like the little teeny bridges because they would be talking on the bus, so excited. And then I would hear dead silence because they were doing like this in the window. Because there was water like right there. We went over the smallest ones and we had a little talk, a little snack. Everybody breathed. All right. Then we went across the Main Street Bridge. Totally silent, a couple of people kind of disappeared. Just got put down in the seat. Didn't know what to do. We went across the Hart Bridge. We had to talk a little longer after that. Then we went across the Acosta and then the railroad thing came down. And a little few tears. But when we went across the abutment, before it had the sides, it said, I'm walking back. We had to go a different way. And then I just let them see the days come. They couldn't handle it. But can you think about, we realize, if you haven't been across the bridge, you've never seen a mall. Because there aren't any over there. And when they saw it, they were very confused at all those stores in one place. Then we decided to take them to Tinseltown, to the movies. And when we were on the way, they were crying on the bus because they thought we had passed the movie because they saw Blockbuster. And when we got to Tinseltown, they just stood there. They were amazed, and when it dusk, so that they see the light. I'm telling you, it was the most life-changing thing for me. It was life-changing. Then I realized we've got to give children experiences. I left West Jackson, went to Butler Middle School, a school that a lot of people had given up on. And we had a wonderful partner who paid for things and interacted with the children. And then he said, we're going to have a science fair. Even the district said, I wouldn't do that if I were you. So yeah, we don't do it. And the other boys had, we're going to have one too. He said, anybody who does a quality project, I'm taking you to Washington, D.C. for a week. We had 300 projects. 80 of them were quality, and he took 80 children to Washington, D.C. for a week. Life-changing. But we made sure they had exposure to things they would not otherwise have known. So we took them to the Blacks and Wax Museum. They were on the forefront. We took them to the Holocaust Museum. And I'll never forget, there was a child in the school who was a gang member. And he said to me, why didn't somebody tell me? I didn't know. I thought we were the only ones who weren't treated right. And then he came back to school, and as a principal seminar, he talked about all of the places that they had seen. These kids are graduating from college. The little boy that I met in 4th grade, his name is Corey, he gives me permission to use his name. He was sent to me in the 4th grade when his father was murdered holding his hand. He was angry and just very quite violent. I moved the desk in my office. I'm your teacher till you can go out into the classroom. He was in my office for 3 months. He graduated from UNF last year. He's a civic engineer. And he mentors children who are victims of homicide of a family member. It's amazing. Don't underestimate the power that you have as a teacher. Because they will even see, even if you tell them, I don't think you're going to get this, they'll say, okay, I guess I won't. So you got to always be very positive. So when you look at this, there's research on everything. You read research on something, find out what it means right here in this context, and then find out what it means for the world. When you look at data, now just look at the numbers. Look at who the children are. Look at where they came from. Everybody who worked at the school where I was the principal had to get in the van and go on a tour of the neighborhood. And when they came back, they didn't know what to say. I said, do you understand what an opportunity you have here? There were some people at our school who are known all over the United States now. Jim and exactly Champagne, he was the top math teacher. Tim Kenny was top math teacher. Minnie McClendon's a principal now. Amy Roberts is an assistant principal now. They all came and we went in that neighborhood and they couldn't believe what they saw. I said, but when they've crossed the threshold, you just gotta be kids. You got kids taking care of parents. You got kids cooking every day and cleaning houses. But when they come into the school, they gotta be a kid. And you're the only one who can allow them the gift of letting them be a kid because they might not have a childhood in their other life. Then when you look down at culture, that's the number one thing. I'm very proud to tell you that over the 3 years I was at West Riverside, and that's the last school I was in. West Riverside is a school that's extremely diverse. And we have the best, the most beautiful children. I wish you could, it's just amazing. We have 7 languages in the school. About 35% are Hispanic. We have about 30% African American. We have 6 other countries represented. Then I learned that not all Spanish was the same Spanish. I didn't even know that. I call myself being cool going on Rosetta Stone, but the Mexican kids and the Guatemalan kids didn't know what each other were talking about. I said, what? But I did Spanish. Didn't understand that. So the children taught me. And then I would get on the intercom, and one day I would do the Guatemalan Spanish in the morning talking to the kids, and the next time I do the Mexican one, and they were so happy, and the parents were crying. They said, don't do that. I said, I don't know that for now. That's all I can say. I talked to me, let me get the interpreter, because I don't know what you're talking about. But the fact that you even make the effort made all the difference in the world. Ms. Danke can tell you, if somebody asked you to describe it, Ms. Danke, what would you say?
It's a gift, right? It really is. Everything that you're saying is the biggest.
It's just like a jewel. And everybody respects what everybody else is doing. When we got the discipline data back, right before I left, we had 3 fights in the school in 3 years. These are children who couldn't even communicate with each other. But they were all kids. And children solve problems way faster than we do. They found a way to communicate. Boy, outside on the playground, it's a movie. Everybody's doing all this, trying to get each other to understand what they're saying. Funny sitting here and talking. They're just being kids. You have power, and you have to love it. So culture is extremely important. I talk to parents all the time. We had things for parents. When I was reading a story to the parents, the interpreter was reading it too, and then everybody could talk the same language. You just have to find a way. But then you see planning, and then the next line says preparation. And this is what I want to tell you. Planning and preparation are not the same. They're not the same. You can write the best plan, could be award-winning, but if you don't know how to carry it out, nobody's going to care. It means if you're talking about a science project, everything has to be laid out when they come in. Everything I did in my classroom was a production. Now, I was a little strange. I don't expect y'all to be as strange as me. I know you're totally shocked to find out that I was strange. I mean, I wore capes and paisley tights and wigs and anything because it re-engaged them every single time. And what you have to do is to make sure that you can convince children that learning is going to make them happy. But then you have to pay attention so that the one who's the hardest to get, when they make a step forward, you have to notice it and you have to go. If they're in primary, do it publicly. If they're in 4th and 5th grade, you have to do it privately because they don't want anybody to think, my God, don't tell anybody I actually like school. In middle school, all private. And I would call him in my office and say, I got something to tell you. So when I come down the hall and you catch you, I'm going to call you out like a man. You got to come with me. You stomp all the way down the hall. Because they had gotten the highest score, but they didn't want anybody to know because they were supposed to be so cool. And we would get in my office and I would close the conference door and tell secretary, do not interrupt me. Because we're talking about this right now. And we would go in and we would come in. Dominique was his name. And I said, you got the highest score. I said, there's nobody in here. What? What are you talking about? He said, no, Ms. J. I said, I'm not telling anybody. I said, but I need you to do it again. I said, so calm down. Get yourself together, get some water. I said, all right, you want me to escort you back? Yeah, because see, they're not going to believe. I said, okay. So we walked down. I said, I know what. I do it again. Just do it again. And he's like, man, I'm not a man. I don't want. I need to go back there and finish your lunch. And she would go in there and he'd pass me. Whatever, man. You gotta learn how to pick your battle. I don't care if he had to protect his reputation. I just wanted him to graduate. Well, he's a teacher now. He's amazing. I mean, like, fabulous teacher. And he walks in and he tells them, for all of y'all who were me, don't even try it. I already did it. And it just set the culture and the climate of his classroom. But preparation means you don't have to disengage your students to go find something to get something ready. But you gotta have it ready. And whenever we talk about anything, even now, and it's about a specific thing, well, this right here, this is like a whole unit right here. I love this. Gorgeous. And I would pick up something and teach. Who wants to teach pre-K? Anybody? I think you're a wonderful person because I am not doing that. I can't do the pre-K thing. No. That's not mine. You got to know what you're good at. You can't be good at everything, okay? But you got to not mind being touched. You got to know they're going to be all looking in your hair. You got to know and especially if they get sick, take some emergency or something. That's what it is. How many people want to see Shanghai? Okay. You are let's get them ready. The scariest word in the world, readiness. For what? Everything. You got to get them ready to learn everything. And they're going to do this. I'm picking on you because you look like a teacher already. You're going to be doing somebody, and they're going to, you might as well answer them, because you will have a hole in your arm. You're not going to go away because they don't get upset about you being annoying. They just keep on punching you, and don't do this. Yes, because then you get it. Deal with that. If you go back there and read it, I'm coming over there in 3 minutes. Ready, go. And they'll go over there and wait. You finish with your child. They'll make it 3 minutes in 1 second. They're coming back. Go over there. How many people want to teach first grade? One of the most important, because you got to teach them how to read. Use everything that you can to teach them how to read. One day we went and walked in the neighborhood, read every sign, and came back and wrote it on those sticky notes and put it up on the board. Then they wanted to read everything. How many people want to teach second grade? Second grade is a year of wonder. They think everything is amazing. If you were second graders and I said, what do you think this really is? They would go, they do this all the time. I said, we're going to learn it. This one. Third grade, anybody want to teach third grade? Okay, let me just say this right now. Third grade boys cannot developmentally learn without making noise. They can't. They're not capable. They do the car sounds, they get on their knee and tap the pencil, they do beatbox, they do all this kind of stuff. The bad thing is that your third grade girls can't stand noise. So in the beginning of the year, you don't have them in groups together. That's just going to be an extra job. They can't. And then what's going to happen is you'll see the third grade girls go, he's like, what's with you? He's looking over here. Okay. Now turn your chair a little bit. And he's still making noise. And they're just, and they're looking at him like, what? Because they haven't gotten to the age where they really notice them yet. How many for fourth grade? Fourth grade just want to be fifth grade. That's their whole life. That's all it is. It's not about anything else. They have the same glitter, all of everything. You know, that's just, they just want to be like fifth grade. Fifth grade, just pray. They're just crazy because they think they're a senior, and of course there's no such thing anymore. So what you have to do is you have to look up research that tells you the developmental stages of children. Because fifth grade teachers knew, do not send a referral to me saying she was writing notes in class. I say, welcome, grade, you're a normal kid, because fifth grade girls, if they don't write notes, they will die. They gotta fold it, they gotta tuck it in, they gotta put the book, that's just what they do. So what do you do? First day of school, you give everybody a shoebox, and them decorate their mailbox, line them up in the windowsill, and you have mail called at 10:20. If I catch you with the note before then, it's mine. And then you wear an apron, you put it in your pocket, and all day long they're saying, "Are you going to give it back?" I don't know. I'm going to tell my mama, I haven't decided. And here's what I want you to know. Don't read it because you probably can't take it. It's the word of some song that you can't believe they know. And it's not all good language. And they got little pictures on there and little stuff that you don't want to know that they're thinking because she's the eighth student. Oh my God, did she write? You can't take it because you just don't do that. Just throw it away at the end of the day. And then they will come back the next one and say, can I have another? No, because it's mine. But at 10:20, about 10:19, they'll all act like they're working, but they'll be looking at the clock, and when it's 10:20 and you ring a little bell for mail call, they'll walk across and put mail in people's boxes and write on, give them gel pens and glitter pens, strange colors of paper, and let them know that's the only legal time for you to do that, and they'll do it. Children don't want all those choices. What I'm saying to you today is, it is a wonderful thing to be a teacher. It is a game changer. It is the most fulfilling thing you can do. And just be sure you love it. Because if you don't, you'll be able to convince a kid that they can't learn. And that is what you do not want to do. Roxanne, thank you so much for letting me talk about what I love.
Hi, everybody. To end off this awesome conference. I'm going to be singing one of the songs that I did in our presentation of teaching multicultural, different cultures in music. Words apart. And it's a song called Nothing But Water. It's from Louisiana and really steeped in Cajun culture. And I'm dedicating it to you, Doctor. In the presentation, we had a string bass, but I wasn't feeling too up to all the people, and I'm feeling up to it. It's gonna be great. I have seen what man can do when the evil lives inside of you. Many are the weak and the strong are few, but with the water we'll start anew. Oh, won't you take me down to the levee? Take me down to the stream. Take me down to the water. We're gonna wash our souls clean. Take me down to the river. Take me down to the lake. Yes, we'll all go together. We're gonna do it for the good Lord's sake. I have fallen so many times for the devil, so weak, cunning rhymes. This old world has brought me pain, but there's hope for me again. Oh, won't you take me down to the levee? Take me down to the stream. Take me down to the water. We're gonna wash our souls clean. Take me down to the river. Take me down to the lake. Yes, we'll all go together. We're gonna do it for the good Lord's sake. I tried my hand at the Bible, tried my hand at prayer, but now nothing but the water is gonna bring my soul to bear. But now nothing but the water is gonna bring my soul to bear.
One of the big problems I find in education in America is that we praise and we evaluate students on two of our intelligences: linguistic, verbal linguistic, logical mathematics. What about our beautiful singer? What happened? What about the why are we not giving them just as much value as reading and writing and math? Well, I can't thank Dr. Johnson enough. So you get your little tissue and come back up here. Because This is the first time our 5th time coming. I have never given her anything from us. But this year we thought, no. She needed a vacation, which we couldn't do because we don't have that voice. And then, of course, something for you to remember us by, because you're coming back next year. For the beach, right?
Yes, so you can enjoy the beach and the rainy weather in Florida for 30 minutes that happens in the afternoon. And some notepads, just, you know, figure since you're not stopping for your notes before you send those letters out to all those people. Thank you so much.
You have
for
to
Dr.
sing that. I
Johnson.
told her she needs to sing that for her children and then teach them what it means.
And you had one to sing for us. You can't leave without singing that for me. Have your certificates together.
Before I cried, my
Yes.
voice is all messed up. This is just, I've sung it every year for my kids, and I just want them to care about each other. That's what's like, this is gonna be terrible because now I'm all messed up from her. But just think about the words. Every day that goes by, every moment you'll find a broken heart, a tear that's cried, a wish that's made that never comes true. And somewhere someone needs to be found. Oh, the things we do, the things we say, are gentle rays of hope that touch us all each day. Oh, the things we do, the things we say, these are the greatest gifts we'll ever give away. The things we do, it matters what you say. Just love it, and I promise you to love you right now.
Thank you ever so much, Dr. Johnson. I'm sorry that we made you cry, but good tears. And now, for our wonderful students, we have raffles. Everybody has to get something. So I hope we have our little tickets ready and our certificates. So
Let's do the raffles first.
Yes.
Let's have fun.
yes,
Yes. We have lots of things, guys. Lots and lots.
everything. Everybody should get some.
I think I can get one.
You guys.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Number, everybody with their little numbers? 9596841. 6841. 6841. Not there. Next. 9596872.
Oh.
Good. Next. 9596874. 74.
6874.
6874. I'll just give you the last numbers. 6862. 6862. 6790. 6835. Come on. 6758. I mean everybody left. 6830,
6830?
30, 86840, 6840,